the Accelerator and Source Division on the 30th of September 2020. And Chin, a well-known accelerator physicist from Beijing University, has joined the ESRF. He has stepped in on the 1st of November as the new head of ASD. This was decided by the ESRF Council at its 73rd session in last June in 2020. At the last council meeting on the 74th of the 74th session in December, of course, council was very happy and proud and shared sincere congratulations to all those that made the EBS storage ring come to operation. And in particular, I thank Pantaleo for the delivery of the new EBS storage ring, express profound gratitude to Harald Reichert and John Susini for the achievement of the EBS science program, and in particular for having restarted the users operation, as we know, since August of last year, and renewed their full confidence on the plans that they have put together for this year. Also, during this council meeting, two new directors of research have been appointed. They will start their function on 1st of January 2020. And these two new directors of research are Gemma Martinez Criado, that is well known at the ESRF, as she was working as a scientist at the ESRF until she then joined CSIC in Madrid. And Annalisa Pastore is going to be the new director of for life science, chemistry, and soft matter science, and she's from King's College in London. So a lot of change. Let me come now to the way in which we have organized this facility report. We have 1.5 hours. So I'm going to use we all have a slot about 20 minutes. I'm going to start now, followed by Chin, Harold, and Jean. And then we will have about 10 minutes for questions and answer at the end. So EBS is working. This brings a synchrotron dream really to reality. Just to remind you, the project was started with the idea of Raimondi and his colleagues who invented this hybrid multiple band achromat lattice concept, which joined the typical concept of synchronous radiation lattice with colliders lattice. The idea was developed and studied and presented to our different governing bodies, and the council decided to launch the project in 2015. Already this is quite exceptional, only 2.5 years from an idea to a launch of a big project like the construction of a new storage ring. Then we had, the period of engineering, constructions, simultaneous operation with the last, with the previous storage ring, and then the beginning of a long shutdown that saw the end of user operation on 10th of December 2018. About 19 months of shutdown until 25th of August, in which we had to restart USM to dismount, remount, make first turn, commissioning, and so on. We have seen that at the last users meeting in February 2020, just before the pandemic. And indeed, 25 of August 2020, so the USM restarting here at the ESRF. Everything was done in time and within budget, and now it's really the time for new science. These are the operation statistics for the machine during these few months of operation, and as you can see, they are not as good as with the previous machine, but this is a completely new machine, and I can assure you that these parameters are, first of all, very good, but steadily improving. And I just took a snapshot of last Sunday, February 7, of operation in USM 7-8 multi-bunch. You can see this perfect delivery of 200 to 195 milliamps, 190 milliamps, 5% decrease of the current, reinjection every hour, wonderful lifetime of about 20 hours, at injection, and then 22 at the refill, before the new refill. 130 picometers horizontal emittance, a world record. No other machine can operate under these conditions today. And 10 picometers vertical emittance. So this is a factor of 3 in horizontal emittance better than Max 4, which is a 3 GeV machine. So if you scale in normalized horizontal emittance, you have to multiply by another factor of 4. So for 4 times 4 is something like 10 to 15, 15 to 16, almost 20 times better than the low energy machine, which also uses advanced multiple band achromat lattice concepts. During this delivery, the statistics were also very good. We could welcome 2,200 experimental programs. We had 41 out of 46 beamlines operational. The remaining 5 are either under construction or major refurbishment. We delivered 33,000 hours until the end of last year of beam time, and we had 616 user experiments. We saw during this year also a major recruitment program that enabled us to restaff the beamlines for user operation. A lot of people came to the ESRF, and most of them scientists, postdoc, and PhD students. And I just want to underline that this gave us a great opportunity to recruit young people, promote diversity and parity at all levels in terms of gender, culture, background, religion, etc. And if you're interested in meeting some of these young people that are so crucial for science at the ESRF, you can discover some portraits on our Humans at the ESRF portal. Let me spend a couple of view graphs about the difficulties and the challenges that we had to face at this pandemic time. ESRF has based all its internal policy and strategy on 2 key points: ensuring safe working conditions on the ESRF site for everybody on the site, and revise the 2020 program until today on the priority, giving the priority to restart the user service mode with a maximum number of beamlines. This, of course, had the consequence that we had to delay other programs, in particular the construction of new beamlines. Moreover, we had to take some important decisions, as you may know, to enable the use of the beamlines during consistently with all the restrictions of being on site during the pandemic. So we have been able to enable remote access on all operational beamlines. So we had a lockdown of 2 months from 16th of March until 11th of May. Then we had a slow restart in line with the prescription of the French authority that enabled people to come back on site. And during this period, despite a very strong reduction of the time that was planned to be used for the commissioning the machine or the beamline, we were able to be back to USM on the 25th of August. This is just a picture of what some of you may have already experienced, the remote access to the beamline that has been enabled by our scientists. And this has required a lot of innovative solutions to keep science going, and the Director of Research will touch upon that. So, few final words on the new opportunities opened by the EBS for X-ray science. Some of you may remember this view graph. I show it at the last users meeting, the 30th ESRF users meeting on 4th of February 2020. The future of X-ray science, which is really enabling us today to understand complexity in condensed and living matter from atoms to systems. We have heard in the leitmotif of EMBL science program for the coming years that was presented by Professor Edith Hurd just at the beginning of this meeting, from atoms to ecosystems, so from molecules to ecosystems. So we are very, very much in line, as you can see, is really to understand the properties and the functions of macroscopic manifestation of matter going all the way down to the atomic constituents. All that has enabled us during the last couple of years to organize a lot of workshops with you, with the users, with the experts from all over the world. We had during the period 2019-2020 21 workshops in school to prepare EBS science, and during the last year or so we have been reshaping our program in pillars and missions that reflect the program for the upcoming Horizon Europe program, as well as the Sustainable Development Goals of UNESCO. But I don't have the time to go into the details, but I just want to show you this view graph, for which I'm, again, very, very proud, because we have been seeing a steady increase of number of ERC grants that were given to people that centered their research at the ESRF. And during the last year, we had 3 grants. And I also want to underline that out of the 6 that have been presently carried out at the ESRF, 4 are female and 2 are males. In the context of the users meeting, I think it's also very important to inform you that enhancing the scientific use of the ESRF is one of the major topics of the coming years. We received a H2020 grant called Streamline that will help us to invest in all a series of actions, and many of them are already going. And among those, there is the discussions about the new user proposal schemes and access modes. And SAC recently has endorsed 3 pilot projects to be started already this year, and we hope to fully implement new proposal schemes that will enhance the possibility to identify large collaboration on specific thematic themes, the possibility to link to grants, to link to activities also at other facilities. All this is being studied very carefully, and users will be, of course, fully involved in this process and kept informed or ask their advice. So after the March-May confinement that we had in the period last year, March-May last year, we restarted at the end of May, beginning of June, and by restarting, the priority was clearly given to contribute to the international quest to overcome the pandemic crisis. This has put science on the center stage, and from the beginning, we enable our structural biology facilities to be operational, in particular the cryo-EM microscope and the structural biology beamline. But also we started a new program on bioimaging research on BM5 that was even awarded 1 million euros from the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative very recently. These are the first EBS data and enable for the first time to look deeply into organs, and in particular on COVID-19 affected lungs. There is a movie on our website that I invite you to see. I'm sure that also the director of research will go more into the details, but it's really striking that the first ESRF EBS data allow to see something that has never been seen by human eyes, humankind before. This is this incredible capacity to study in details that go to subcellular level the characteristic of a full human organ. And it's clear that this is quite strong and moving for me. That reminds me the work that was analytically started by Leonardo in Milan in about 500 years ago, and now is being coming to a new era, a new capacity here at in Grenoble with the EBS imaging. Something special about the 45th parallel. So we also are facing a lot of challenges in the years to come. Of course, the delivery of the new EBS beamline, 4 of them, plus the refurbishment of a major refurbishment of some other ESRF beamlines. We also have a far-looking accelerator program where increased brightness, coherence, reliability, and stability of the machine is at the basis of this program. And this includes a new generation of ondulators, a fourth harmonic cavity set up in order to stretch the beam and get even a better lifetime, an improved injection chain, and a preventive maintenance program. We also have an IT data program to fully exploit the information contained in the EBS data. This is something that will keep us very busy in the years to come, and some more information will be shared to you during this report. So, to conclude, the new EBS storage ring is up and running with design performance, and USM is back. ESRF is providing new exciting opportunities in X-ray science to the synchron community worldwide. First flavor, see the next talks. The COVID-19 pandemic has put science on the center stage as never before, and the EBS science program really provides an opportunity to you, to the users, to address together and beyond boundaries many of the complex challenges facing our society, in particular those that will enable to anticipate and face crises that impact human health and the well-being of our planet. With that, I thank you very much for your attention. I want to again underline my profound gratitude to Pantaleo Raimondi, who's the man behind EBS and behind this revolution that, as you must be aware, is going on all over the world, all over the facilities of synchronous radiation. So it's a real change that has started with EBS and will continue in the year to come. And I thank you for your attention. And finally, I also want to conclude by mentioning that the ESRF Highlights 2020, your science, your work, is now available on the web and in paper copy. So thanks to the communication group and the director of research and to all the people that contributed to make, again, ESRF Highlights 2020 available only 2 months after the end of 2020 and being presented at the users meeting. And I also want to heartily thank all the companies that made their contribution to ensure that the USRF users meeting could take place also this year. So thank you.